It's now time for you to meet the board members. Welcome, and thank you for joining us on Meet the Board Members, where we seek to get up close and personal with the persons who sit on the Jamaica Society for the Blind's Board of Directors. Now, today's guest is...
My name is Arthur Taylor, and I'm a member of the board of the Jamaica Society for the Blind. My knowledge of the Jamaica Society for the Blind came to me when we were about to leave school in 1981 through the interaction and face-to-face discussions with the Past Students Association. Apparently they visited us, and we at the time were curious. We asked quite a number of questions, and we learned more and more about the Jamaica Society for Blind and other of the disabled community, the Jamaica Council for Handicap at the time, as it was called. Of course, we learned more about the Old Students Association. So that was our first discussion or introduction to the Jamaica Society for the Blind. I am a Roman Catholic deacon. I am also a teacher of music and religious education and a guidance counselor. So I'm very, very wide in my teaching profession. I am very, very involved in volunteerism. That's why I'm a member of the board for the Society for the Blind for these many years, and part of the Combined Disabilities Association, where I'm now the present chairman. I'm involved in my church activities in various different ways, as organist, as choir director, and of course teacher, we call catechist, where we teach and prepare persons for baptism. I was born in the Kingston City, right here in Kingston City. Of course, raised in West Kingston in the community of Tivoli Gardens, where my mother had about 6 of us. And a wonderful time being there in the community, roaming and making friends. I went to the School for the Blind as early as age 6. Where I spent at least 13 of my years there being educated. As I have shared, my work spans a variety of things that I've been involved in. And these things run simultaneously. I have been a teacher for over 29 years. And also I've been a professional musician for over 35 or so years. I have taught at the high school level. I've taught at Calabar High School for about 3 years in the 90s. Then I moved on to younger students, where I've taught the primary levels. I've taught at Halfway Tree Primary for a number of years. And at the same time, I was teaching within the private schools. So I've been with Lanneman's Prep during those years from about 1994, 1995 to present. But I've been teaching part-time within these private schools along with Halfway Tree Primary. And I've taught at the kindergarten level. I've taught Smurf Kindergarten for over 15 years, where we have developed early childhood education, and especially in the area of the arts, the performing arts, where we have won numerous awards at the JCDC, the Festival of the Performing Arts, both in early childhood at the primary level with Lanneman's Prep, Halfway Tree, and along with Calabar. I have shared some of my professional experience as a teacher at the college level, but I've never had the opportunity to have taught at that level, but I've shared in the consultations at the college level. So I have done that, and I've done a lot of volunteerism. I taught at the School for the Blind in the 90s, where I shared my music skill with some of these young persons, Camila Isaacs and our own chairman, Damien McLean, getting to play the drum, and a number of other young students. I think you were there too, Damian Rose. I think you were there also. And I've staged you guys at the Festival Performing Arts. I've introduced the festival to you guys there. I've been involved in a number of workshops here and there for summer schools at Edna Manley School of the Performing Arts in the area of theatre and music production. And also I've been with a number of other institutions that have used the music to instill certain values and attitudes and skills within some of the schools that have challenges with difficult children. I have been involved in church work for close to 29 years. I've been playing at a number of different churches as organist long before I decided to be baptized and become a Catholic convert. So I've been there, and then I've moved into baptism. I've become a catechist. First of all, we have done 2-year training as a lay preacher, lay minister in the lay ministry. And then I'm moved on to the BA in theology. I studied at the University of the West Indies, and finally moved into the master's program. And at the same time, I had myself prepared for 3 to 4 years for becoming a deacon of the Roman Catholic Church. To add to all that I have done on the outside, in the school and within the church, I've been involved, as I said, with organizations that serve the disabled community. So I've been with the Society for the Blind all these years from 1981 when I left school, and been involved in a number of things like the National Culture Group for the Blind and Adult Blind Club, and all the various organizations that we had at the time had helped to motivate us and socialize us and had us involved into activism into the normal society. When I say normal society, we mean the day-to-day life of the world. I became a board member about 3 times now, from about 1987, 86, 87. I've served on the board, and I did a couple of years, and then I returned in the 90s. I did about 2 or 3 years, and then I returned from 2008, between 2008 or 2007, up until present, where I have been serving on the board of the Society for the Blind. I have been the chairman for about 2 years, between 2011, I think, to 2013, when I was ordained. I gave up the position. I gave way to Mr. McLean and acted as vice chair a couple of times. So quite involved with the Society for the Blind all these years of my life. If someone should have visited the Society for the Blind in the early 80s, when we had just started functioning up at 111.5 Old Hope Road, and then return now, they would see a remarkable change in our physical structure, and in looking at the activities that we have involved in, and programs that we've been offering to persons today. They would say that the society have really grown, and as a result of our contribution, especially we persons who are blind and visually impaired. Yes, we couldn't do it alone, and we are grateful for the help of the persons who are seeing, because we believe in collaborative effort. We are living in one society, and therefore we should all work together. We have been involved in a lot of expo that the society have been a part of and that we have organized. We have been a part of walks and telethons, mediathons. We have given my time and my talent. We have performed as a performer, musician within these areas of our talent shows that we have put on in order to raise funds for the Society for the Blind, and these long walks that will go on for fundraising, walkathon. We will walk from door to door all over in order to raise funds for the Society for the Blind. All these were being done during the 80s, and we were all a part of these things. I have served on committees. Public Awareness Committee I've been a part of. I was chair once when I was chair for the Society for the Blind. I was the chairman for the Resource Mobilization Committee where we have served, and I continue to serve on the board and always serve when I'm called upon to give talks and to participate in program itself. In order for these programs to run, we make ourselves present and available at these programs. I've gone out on site awareness visits when we go out to schools, when we have site awareness week, and I've done presentations and interactions with the students in the various areas that we have gone to, St. Anne, here in Kingston, in St. Catherine, in Clarendon. We will go to a number of those schools, down in St. Thomas, where we have these expositions and all those things. So I continue to give my support. And in the time of crisis, we are there whenever the society meets certain difficulties, management difficulties. We are quite involved in those kind of leadership and to ensure the smooth running of the Society for the Blind. As a trained counselor, I have been offering my service to the members of the society or the clients themselves over the past couple of years. You know that when persons lose their sight, they tend to find it difficult to cope and therefore experience sometimes psychological challenges. I have been involved in those talks, sitting down one-to-one counseling persons, helping them to adjust. I have also made myself very much available to be a part of peer counseling and sitting down and just sharing life with persons in the various fields that I've been involved in, things that I've been involved in, and just passing on knowledge in an informal and interactive way. So I'm very much a person who continue with interactions. Looking at the society today, one cannot sit back and say, yes, we are 100% comfortable with whatever services that we're offering presently, because there's always room for improvement. But being a person that have been involved with society for such a long time, and we look at what was offered then, where we basically just experience social gathering and little social activities, and where persons would receive some welfare benefits. The society has evolved so much that the kind of programs we have fits well to train and prepare persons, the adult population, even more. There's more that can be done, and we can work at it. But we talk about the era of technology. We're happy to see that the persons have gotten training and exposed to technology. My introduction to the computer actually came through a program that was done at the Society for the Blind. And of course, we continue to improve on the library services continue to improve, and there's more that can be done for us to reach the rural population and to move to 100% or fully digitized library where we can access things much easier online. When we look at the era of eye care, where we have established this great vision center. Now, what is a great vision center? Because it has been in operation for probably about close to 4, I'm not sure if we reached 5 years yet, but within those time, and we have established this wonderful clinic there to contribute to persons living with low vision. So we're not only meeting the need of those who are blind or totally blind or legally blind, but we are trying to meet the need of persons who are living with low vision, and to participate also in testing and screening of the population of Jamaica. Our children, they are reaching the schools, they're going out to schools, and more and more persons are accessing our eye care program, which I think is great. In the area of adjustment to blindness, we could do well with more hands on deck, more trained field officers. Presently, I think we probably only have one person, and this one person is hard stretched, but the work that is being done, one must say, is commendable. And seeing a lot of new blind persons come into the society and being introduced to the programs that we have, areas of study, areas of computer, the whole literacy, and learn day-to-day living skill, even from each other, interaction with each other, teaching each other these skills. I think it is great with the small staff that we have. And indeed, the staff must be commended, because it's a small staff, and sometimes things become overwhelming as if they're overworked. But trust me, we seek to do a lot. So the society has truly gone through transformation. To improve on the Society for the Blind today, I think we need to improve on our data gathering. We need to be doing a bit more surveys, especially getting out into the rural areas. We need to be getting more hands-on with the rural community, rural life. The urban life has taken off, and people are really going there more readily, and it's accessible to persons going there. But we need to get our services out there to be a bit more accessible. We might not be able to put up structures as what we have here in Kingston, but we can do it through collaborative effort. The various libraries, the parish libraries, this is where our library committee and the library service that we offer need to improve on, where we can probably run some of these training programs, computer training programs and other programs with the library within the rural areas. We can also collaborate with some of the social program, SDC, and run some of the lifestyle training or adjustment to blindness to persons who are out there in the rural area, and to get the general public, especially those who involve in extension of services, to be far more informed and sensitized and be prepared in assisting and meeting the needs of persons who are blind within the rural area. So I think that's where our thrust need to go. We used to have a program down in Montego Bay, and it has almost gone down on a slow death, that we were working with the Lions Club down in Montego Bay in the 80s and 90s, because I remember flying down to Montego Bay a couple of times to go to their meetings. So we need to get back that kind of interaction and new persons involved in it. Some of the older folks, they have passed on who were from the Lions Club, but we need to get that kind of interaction more with the rural community. My relaxation comes in different ways and different form. Few years ago, I would relax playing a lot of music, manual involved in groups, band rehearsals. Was to spend a lot of time relaxing that way. And later on, now that I become so involved with church activities, school, and everything, when I get home, I just sit back, kick back with family, laugh and talk, and of course, love to listen to what is happening, especially on the radio. I listen to some of the newscasts, especially now during COVID. I listen a lot to without giving anything there, nationwide. I listen a lot to nationwide. And of course, I always on my phone, especially since I've gotten so attached to the iPhone. I'm on my phone and I'm doing research. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm listening to a variety of things. And at the same time, while doing that, not ignoring the family, but laughing and enjoying myself. And of course, before COVID, I would find myself out and eat a good fish and drink a drink and laugh with my friends them. And of course, I don't leave out my wife because my wife is always a part of somebody's entertainment. And my wife loves to dance. So we go to the deck and we just dance and enjoy ourselves. Well, my spare time, I love to observe a lot. So sometimes, even if you see me on the compound of the Society for the Blind and I'm not working, just interacting and liming out with people talking, I am listening and observing a lot. And this helps to inform me, especially in my writing, in my sermons as a minister, of the Word of God. I have to be involved in preaching, So I'm always prepared for a sermon for almost every Sunday morning. I have a sermon that I would put together. So I would listen in the week to what is happening. I would read, and I would do my research on my phone. I would read through the Word of God, reflect upon these things because I love to reflect. And funny, I have learned to do these things multitasking. So even though people might be talking with me at times, sometimes I learn to find a beat. Within that space, I managed to put my thought together and begin to work things through. My favorite meal, I'm still wondering right now where I am. I eat and I enjoy what I eat. But I think I love a good fish meal, brown stew or fried fish. But I don't love steamed fish. Somehow I can't take onto it, but I love a good fish meal. And of course, with raw vegetable, I do enjoy eating raw veg. I love my plantain. I love fried plantain on my plate. And I love my potato salad. Yes, I love those. Put them together nicely. I'll enjoy a nice piece of stewed peas. But nowadays, I just eat to enjoy and just eat because you have to eat. I don't have so much craving for any and every other thing. I love to eat ackee, and I didn't grow up eating ackee. It was never my forte. I just couldn't eat it. And in my adult life, my wife, who just couldn't eat ackee herself, and she was pregnant with one of our children, she had this craving, and started preparing ackee. And there we started eating it, and so we begin to enjoy a nice bit of ackee. But I wouldn't go out and point it out and say, yes, this must be my first meal or the main meal for me. But nice ackee, once prepared well, I enjoy it. And of course, I have no problem with eating the pork, a nice piece of jerk pork. And of course, I love washing it down with a nice cold beer, a nice Heineken. Yeah, wash it down. As I would say to almost anybody that I've come across and everyone that I've come across, you have only one life to live. Live it in peace, live it in love, live it in a way that you won't have much regrets. There will be regrets, there will be challenge, but don't live it in a way that you're so disappointed and start to beat upon yourself. Always believe there's hope. There's always an opportunity there waiting for you. And opportunities like a bald head man, as somebody would tell a story, with a small ponytail at the back, and as bald head goes flying through, the only way you can catch opportunity is not by grabbing onto that bald head, but to grab onto that ponytail at the back of his head. So if you miss that ponytail, then you missed opportunity. So always be ready to grasp opportunities and possibilities that come your way. Those who serve us, our staff, I always say no man is an island, and therefore no man stand alone. You know, we all need each other. We are brothers and we are sisters, and therefore together we build. So yes, you might require more because your pay might not be on par as the private sector organizations. But at the same time, the service that you give really touch the life and bring hope of someone who have lost hope. And therefore, let us together try and build hope for those who become hopeless, because blindness is a challenge, especially when one acquires it. So I say kudos, keep working hard, keep thinking of ways of delivering your service even more better.
Thank you for listening, and join us next time on Meet the Board Members.